Now, for more insight, let's cross live to Associate Professor Wang Jin in Xi'an. Professor, news just came in. According to Reuters and Iran's Mer news agency, Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi and Iran's foreign minister are confirmed dead in this helicopter crash. Let's start with domestic impact. How will this incident impact Iran's politics?
Hi, Pandan. I think, of course, it is a very major tragedy for the politics inside Iran. And also, this is a very tragedy for the Iranian people because they lost their president, that they lost their beloved president. This is a very important figure with a very strong influence in this region and also inside the country. We have to know that Raisi, on the one hand, he is the president of Iran, and on the other hand, he has a very strong and very familiar background inside, political background inside Iran's own justice and religious figures, religious areas. So that is why he is widely respected and he's widely loved. And he could be, according to some analysis, he could be perceived as a very, very important candidate for the future Iranian supreme leader, Khamenei, because we know that Khamenei, his healthy condition is not very positive, according to some reports. So that is why the Raisi, with a very strong justice and religious backgrounds, and also he was the very top leader of the Iran's executive political system. I mean, he was a president. So that is why Raisi could be perceived as a very, very important candidate for the future supreme leader of Iran. But with this very tragedy incident erupted, it suggested that new rounds of changes, especially not only we're talking about Iran's President Raisi, but also we're talking about Xi'an, the foreign minister, also passed away. This means that new changes of the posts and new changes of the president and also the foreign ministers and maybe other important political posts might happen. So that is a tragedy, and it will influence inside. It has a very strong influence inside Iran's own political system in the future. Pandan.
Now, Professor, let's expand the scope a little bit. We know for decades, Iran has been facing very tough geopolitical situation. No mentioning its ties with the United States, far, far away, but yet so close. Talking to us about Iran's stances regarding these geopolitical tensions and its ties with the United States under President Raisi.
Raisi he was widely perceived and understood before he took the presidency. A lot of people believe, okay, he's come from the very conservative camp, so that is why his foreign policy should be very conservative, and his foreign policy could be perceived and maybe could be very, very aggressive. But we know that after he assumed the power in August of 2022, actually he played a very moderate role, and his foreign policy is very realistic and pragmatic. For example, he hopes under his presidency, the Iran's foreign policies with Saudi Arabia and other neighboring Arab states resumed and restored. This is a very, very important success. And also, on the other hand, Iran continues to hope to work together with the international community to find ways to solve the Iran nuclear issue, and hope to find ways to play the role in the regional conflict, in the regional crisis. So that is why he's not the figure that once perceived by some Western analysts that he is willing to play a very aggressive role and provoking more and more regional crisis. So that is why Raisi is a very moderate leader, widely respected inside Iran. So after he's passed away, I think maybe new influences in this region might occur, given that the new leaders that should be selected inside Iran, and maybe some changes in the foreign policies will happen.